Now we're going to make an origami crane, which is one of the most recognizable pieces of origami that exist. It's said that if you fold 1,000 of these, then any wish you want will come true. To start off, we're going to want a square piece of paper, which you can make if you watch the video that we linked above. The first step is to take this paper and fold it in half so that it creates a triangle. Make sure that your edges are even and lined up, and that you crease the middle very well. Open the paper up and do the same thing in the other direction, taking the top point and folding it down to the bottom and creasing it over in the middle. Now, if you open up your paper again, you should have 4 equal sections. Turn the paper over, and now we're going to fold it in half so that it makes a rectangle. As always, make sure that your fold is very exact and that the edges line up, so that way your fold is right in the middle. Open the paper again and fold it in the other direction to make another rectangle. When you open up your paper this time, you should see 8 equal sections. Note that the rectangular folds and the triangular folds are folded in the opposite direction of each other. Take your paper with the rectangular folds facing you and fold it so that it collapses in on itself like this. You should see that on the inside of the paper, there should be 2 flaps, which are lined up at the corner. You can then fold the upper flap down and go over the folds that you made with your fingers. Now we have a square. You should notice that one edge of our square has open flaps and the other ones have closed ones. The next step that we do is going to involve taking this side with the open flaps and folding it onto the center diagonal line of our square. If you want, you can take a pencil and draw out the center line, which you need to align the edge with the open flaps with. Take the edge with the open flaps and fold it so that it lines up with the line that you just drew, and make sure that you run over the crease with a lot of force. Do the same thing on the other side. Now, take your paper and flip it over. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Remember that you have this edge on your square with open flaps, and that's the part that you want to align with the center line, which you can draw again with pencil. Fold your paper again so that the side with the open flaps lines up with that center line that you just drew. Do the same thing on the other side and make sure that they meet up in the middle. Make sure you go over your creases so that they're really sharp and so that they stay as they are. Your paper should now look like a kite. Take the top triangle part of your kite and fold it over. Crease it really well. Then unfold it, flip over your paper, and fold it over on the other side, doing the exact same thing. Now open it up again and unfold the side flaps as well. Once you've unfolded your square, the next step is going to involve taking this top flap of our open side of our square. You want to make note of the line where you creased that top part of the triangle earlier. You can trace over the line to make it a little more clear. Pull the top flap back and take the outer edges and pull them inwards so that they meet in the middle of this diamond. Fold over all the creases so that the piece of paper lies flat in this diamond shape. Next, we're going to flip our paper over and repeat the same steps on the other side. So unfold the flaps, and you're going to lift the top part of this flap again. Pull it backwards and fold the outer edges inwards so that they meet in the middle, and fold it flat into your diamond shape once again. Once again, run over your folds so that they stay sharp. At this point, you should have a diamond with 2 flaps that are separated on one side, and then on the other side of the diamond, the flap should be connected. The next step is to take one of those disconnected flaps and fold it so that its edge meets the center line. Then you want to do the same thing on the other disconnected flap on the other side. Next, flip your paper over and do the same thing on the other side. Remember, you're going to fold the corner of one of the disconnected flaps so that its edge meets the center, and do the same thing on the other disconnected flap. Make sure you run your finger over your folds again so that they're sharp and precise. Next, you want to turn over one of the flaps from left to right as if you're turning over the page in a book. Flip your paper over and do the same thing on the other side, folding the flap from left to right. Once you flip that flap down, your paper should look kind of like a long wolf's head. Lift up the wolf's snout and fold it upwards so that it meets its ears. Then flip the paper over and do the same thing on the other side, folding the snout upwards towards the ears and creasing it. Now you want to do a similar fold like you did before, folding the page in the book from right to left, flip the paper over and do the same thing on the other side. Now your paper should have two large flaps on the outside, which are going to be the wings of our crane, and two small flaps on the inside, which are going to be the head and the tail. If you fold down the wings, you can then see the head and the tail exposed. Gently pull out the head and the tail and pinch the bottom part where it meets the body, folding it a little bit so that it stays in place. Make sure you do the same thing for both the head and tail of the body. So pull them both out gently and pinch the part where it meets the body. Now we should have a symmetrical piece of paper with one head and one tail. Choose one end to be the head and fold the tip of it downwards and pinch it together to make the head. We're almost done. You can start to see the bird. Unfold the wings and pull them out a little bit so that the body spreads out and inflates. You can fix any of the folds and make sure that the body is pulled out as much as it can to give it some volume. And there you have it. You've made your very own paper origami crane. You can put it on your desk as a small decoration, or you can follow this video 999 more times to make your wildest dream come true. Thanks for watching. Hope you had fun.